The ocean was quiet that morning, calm like a giant sleeping creature. Far from the coast, a research ship named Deep Finder floated above one of the darkest ocean trenches on Earth. Dr. Elian Carter stood on the deck, watching the blue waves rise and fall. He had spent 20 years studying the deep sea, but today, something felt different. He could not explain why, but he felt as if the ocean was hiding a secret. Inside the ship, the research team prepared their scanning equipment. They were not looking for fish or lost submarines. They were studying strange earthquake vibrations that had appeared again and again in this exact location. The pattern was too perfect, too clean, and too artificial. Dr. Carter believed it was a man-made object buried deep under the ocean floor. But he was wrong. When the scanning machine activated, the screen lit up with lines and shapes. At first, the team thought it was a glitch. The shapes were too straight, too symmetric. One of the assistants zoomed in, and suddenly everyone stopped talking. The object was massive. Almost the size of a city block. And it was triangular, perfectly triangular. "No natural formation looks like that," whispered one of the young researchers. Another scientist leaned closer. "It is metal. It is reflecting the signal." Metal at that depth was nearly impossible. The pressure would crush almost anything humans had ever built. But the readings were clear. Whatever was down there was strong, impossibly strong. Dr. Carter felt his heart pounding. His hands shook slightly as he ordered a deep-sea drone to be launched immediately. The drone, named AR-7, was built to handle extreme pressure. It carried powerful lights and a high-resolution camera. The team gathered around the monitor as the drone sank deeper and deeper. Darkness swallowed it. Only the bright beams of the drone's lights cut through the black water. Minutes passed. The pressure increased. The drone creaked softly, but it kept descending. At 8,000 meters, the lights hit something that was not rock. Everyone leaned forward. There it was. A giant triangular structure lying on the ocean floor. Covered in moss and thick green algae. It looked ancient, but the shape was not broken. The lines were smooth and sharp. Parts of the surface had glowing patterns, like symbols or writing. What is this?" someone whispered. Dr. Carter felt cold. His throat tightened. He knew what it was, but he did not want to say it. "It is a ship," he finally said. "But it is not a human ship." The drone moved closer. The camera slowly scanned the surface. Strange windows, long tunnels, and dark openings appeared. The metal was not rusted. Time had not destroyed it. The design was unlike anything known on Earth. "Keep moving forward," Dr. Carter ordered. The drone floated over a large open doorway. Inside, the air, or water, seemed strangely still, as if the ship was protecting itself. Something deep inside faintly glowed. "What is that light?" the assistant asked. The drone moved inside a little. The glow became brighter. The camera caught something that looked like a floating structure, shining with blue energy. Then something moved behind it. The team gasped loudly. A shadow rushed past the camera. The drone's lights flickered. "Reverse! Reverse now!" Dr. Carter shouted. The drone tried to back out, but something touched it. The camera shook violently. For a moment, the screen turned white with static. Everyone held their breath. Then the camera regained focus. And what they saw made their blood run cold. The glowing symbols on the ship's surface were changing. They pulsed like a heartbeat. The entire ship looked as if it was waking up. "What have we discovered?" someone whispered. Dr. Carter stared at the screen, unable to speak. He felt as if humanity had just stepped into a story far bigger than they ever imagined. The drone floated back, but the ship did not return to silence. The glowing lines grew stronger. The shadow inside moved again, faster this time. Something in the deep ocean had noticed them. And it was not happy. Dr. Carter whispered only 4 words, his voice shaking. "This ship is alive." The entire team stood frozen. No one dared to breathe. They were no longer looking at a simple discovery. They had awakened something ancient. And now, it was watching them. The research ship Deep Finder did not sleep that night. No one on board could even blink without thinking about the massive triangular object hidden beneath the ocean. Every scientist felt the same fear and excitement burning inside them. They had discovered something impossible, something alive. By sunrise, the world already knew. The government sealed the area, and military ships surrounded the research vessel. Helicopters circled the skies. Reporters tried to break through the restricted zone. Everyone wanted the same thing: to see the ship. But no one was allowed near it, except Dr. Elian Carter and his team. Inside the command room, tension filled the air. Engineers checked pressure suits, oxygen tanks, and underwater thrusters. Today, humans were going inside the alien ship. Dr. Carter stood quietly by the controls, staring at the last drone footage. The glowing symbols. The long silent hull. The moving shadow. His mind kept replaying the final moment when the ship seemed to wake up. He could not stop thinking. Did we disturb it? Or did it recognize us? His assistant, Rhea Morgan, stepped beside him. She was young but brave, her eyes steady even after the terrifying discovery. "We have to go inside, sir," she said. "The world is watching." Dr. Carter nodded slowly. He already knew there was no turning back. The descent. 3 divers were chosen. Dr. Carter. Rhea Morgan. Captain Jonas Hale, a deep-sea rescue expert. Their suits were reinforced with new alloy plates that could survive extreme pressure. The helmets had built-in lights and small cameras for live broadcast. As the diving pod lowered them toward the ocean floor, Rhea looked through the glass window. Darkness surrounded them, thick like smoke. Occasionally, strange glowing fish drifted past, startled by the sudden lights. Captain Jonas checked his equipment. "Stay close. If anything moves, you report it immediately." His voice was calm, but his eyes told another story. He was scared too. The pod reached the landing point. A metallic echo rang through the chamber as the door opened. Cold deep-sea water rushed around them. And then, there it was. A massive triangular shadow resting like a giant under the ocean's weight. Green moss covered its entire surface, but the clean, sharp angles still shone like something not meant for Earth. Rhea whispered, "It looks alive." No one disagreed. Entering the unknown. The divers swam toward the open doorway they had seen in the drone footage. Their light spread across the alien metal, revealing patterns that moved like slow waves under the surface. The ship reacted to their presence, glowing stronger with each step. Dr. Carter reached out and touched the metal. The ship pulsed. A soft vibration rolled through the structure, like the beat of a massive heart. Jonas cursed quietly. "This ship can feel us." Inside the doorway, the darkness was strange, too dark, as if it was absorbing their light rather than reflecting it. They stepped inside. Instantly, the sound around them changed. The outside ocean was silent and heavy, but inside the ship, the air, or water, felt lighter, warmer, almost breathable. "What is this place?" Rhea whispered. Smooth alien walls twisted like flowing metal. Glowing symbols ran down the sides, shifting every few seconds. Some symbols brightened when the divers moved. "It is scanning us," Carter whispered. They continued deeper until they reached a long corridor. At the end of it was a doorway that looked like a giant circle carved in silver stone. As they approached, the door opened by itself. The Chamber of Silence. The room beyond was huge, bigger than a city hall. In the center floated a large structure shaped like a crystal with glowing blue veins. It slowly rotated, humming with quiet energy. It is a power core, Dr. Carter said. This ship still works. As they moved closer, something unexpected happened. Their suit displays flickered. The lights dimmed. Their heartbeat sensors flashed red. The ship was reading them one by one. Suddenly, the crystal pulsed with a bright light. And the door behind them closed. Captain Jonas ran toward it and hit it hard, but it did not budge. "We are locked in," he said, breathing fast. The light from the core stopped flickering. Then a new light appeared behind them. A hologram. A tall figure formed from shining white particles. Humanoid, but not human. Long limbs. Smooth face. Eyes like bright stars. Rhea gasped. "It is an alien." The hologram looked at all three divers calmly, as if it had been waiting. Then a voice echoed in the chamber. "Finally, humans return." Dr. Carter froze. You know us." The hologram nodded slowly. "We knew your kind would one day come back to this place." "You are late." Everyone felt chills run through their bodies. Captain Jonas stepped forward. "What is this ship? Why is it here?" The hologram's eyes dimmed for a moment, as if remembering a painful memory. "This ship came to protect your world, long before you were ready to understand." The room fell silent. No one moved. No one breathed. Because the real mystery was only beginning. And the ship was finally ready to reveal its secrets. The hologram stood silently in front of the divers, its glowing white body flickering like shifting smoke. Dr. Elian Carter felt his heartbeat slow, not from calmness, but from shock. This alien projection was not random. It understood them. It recognized humanity. Rhea slowly raised her hand. "Who are you?" she whispered. The hologram turned its head slightly, studying her as if she were a long-lost memory. "I am Sentinel-9, it said. A guardian of this vessel. A guardian of your kind." Jonas blinked. "Our kind? Humans. How do you know who we are?" For a moment, the hologram dimmed, its outlines fading before strengthening again. It felt old. Almost tired. "Because we met your species once," it said softly. "Before your civilization even learned to speak." The divers stared in disbelief. A cold silence filled the chamber. The flickering lights on the walls seemed to pulse faster, almost impatient. Rhea stepped forward carefully. "You are telling us, aliens came to Earth before humans had language?" The hologram nodded. "We watched your first steps, and we protected you from extinction." Dr. Carter's voice trembled. "Protected us from what?" The hologram raised its hand. Instantly, the room changed. The walls around them turned dark. A full holographic world formed around the divers, swallowing the entire chamber in a giant alien simulation. The ocean, the walls, everything disappeared. Now they were standing in a battlefield under a dying sky. Massive burning ships fell from the clouds. Strange winged creatures shrieked through the air. Colossal machines fired beams that melted mountains. Rhea gasped. Jonas stepped back, thinking it was real. The hologram spoke. "This was the war that almost erased your species." Dr. Carter shook his head. We never knew this." "You were not meant to," Sentinel-9 said. "We hid the truth to protect the peace." The scene shifted. Ancient Earth appeared, vast forests, giant animals, humans still primitive. Small camps. Fire. Wood. Stone. Then a dark shadow crossed the sky. A starship much larger than any city humans had ever built. Sentinel-9 pointed at the ship. "The enemy came for Earth. The Vorn Collective. They devour young worlds." Jonas swallowed hard. "Then who stopped them?" The battlefield vanished, replaced by an army of tall, glowing figures, noble, powerful, their eyes shining like stars. "We did," Sentinel-9 said. "We are the Sarati. And one of us still lives." Rhea's eyes widened. One of your people is still alive on this ship." The hologram lifted its arm. A new pathway appeared on the far side of the chamber, glowing bright blue. "Follow the light. He has been waiting for your return." Dr. Carter exchanged a nervous look with his team. They didn't know what they were about to face, but turning back was no longer an option. The last survivor. The divers walked through the new glowing door. The corridor beyond was nothing like the others they had seen. This one was warm, almost alive. The walls hummed with energy. Blue veins of light ran through the metal like flowing blood. At the end of the corridor lay a small chamber. In the center stood a large cylindrical pod filled with shimmering liquid. Inside the pod floated a humanoid figure. Tall. Powerful. Muscular. Skin pale and marked with faint glowing lines. Long hair floating in the fluid like silver fire. Rhea whispered, barely breathing, "He looks almost human." Sentinel-9 appeared beside them. "His name is Archon. A Sarati warrior. He has slept here for 7,000 years." Jonas stepped closer to the pod. "Why is he still alive?" The hologram flickered. "He was wounded in the final battle. Too damaged to heal naturally. We placed him in stasis until humans were strong enough to awaken him." Dr. Carter felt a shiver run through him. Strong enough for what? Suddenly, Archon's eyelids twitched. A small vibration spread through the chamber. The lights flickered. Then his eyes opened, bright silver, glowing like burning stars. Rhea gasped and stepped back. Archon focused on them with slow, heavy breaths. His voice was weak but full of ancient power. "Humans," he whispered. "You survived, after all this time." Jonas stared. "You know us?" Archon nodded weakly. "We saved your world once. And now, you must save it again." The chamber lights flared, as if reacting to his words. Dr. Carter felt the weight of the universe settle on his shoulders. Because if Archon had awakened after 7,000 years, something terrible must be coming. Something humanity was not ready for. The chamber vibrated softly as Archon, the last living Sarati, slowly opened his eyes. His silver pupils glowed with ancient strength, but his body was weak from thousands of years in stasis. Dr. Elian Carter felt frozen, as if he stood before a legend from another universe. Rhea whispered, "He is really alive." Archon looked at her first. His voice was rough, heavy, like stone cracking open. "Humans. You look just as we hoped you would." Captain Jonas swallowed hard. You know us. But why were you waiting for us?" Archon exhaled a slow, painful breath. The glowing lines on his skin flickered like dying stars. "Because your time has come," he said. "The enemy we fought has returned." The chamber fell quiet. Even the ship seemed to hold its breath. Dr. Carter stepped forward carefully. "The Vorn Collective?" Archon nodded slowly. "They consume worlds. They do not negotiate. They do not forgive surviving species." He looked at the humans with a deep, haunting sadness. "We hid this ship beneath your ocean to protect it, and to protect you." The words hit the humans like cold ice. Jonas shook his head. "Why? Why protect us? Humans back then, we were nothing. We could barely make fire." Archon gave a faint smile, sad, warm, ancient. "Your species was fragile, yes, but also special. You learned fast. You adapted fast. You had something the galaxy feared." Rhea whispered, "What did we have?" Archon closed his eyes for a moment. "Unpredictability. The humans exchanged confused looks. Archon continued. Every species follows patterns, logical, controllable, predictable. But humans change in ways no one can calculate. That makes you dangerous. That makes you powerful. The glowing veins on the ship's walls brightened as if agreeing. Sentinel-9 appeared again as a hologram beside the pod. The Serati believed humans might one day surpass even us. Dr. Carter felt a strange pressure in his chest, not fear, but responsibility. White medium star, the truth revealed. Archon lifted a weak hand, and a hologram filled the room. A massive map of the galaxy, with red dots spreading across it like a disease. These are the Vorn ships, he said. They are already moving. One red dot blinked closer and closer to a star labeled Sol. Earth's sun. Rhea gasped. They are already coming here. Archon did not sugarcoat the truth. Yes. They followed the signal when your machine scanned this ship. They know you are alive. Jonas cursed under his breath. So we woke up the ship, and alerted an ancient enemy? Archon nodded. But you also awakened your only hope. The ship hummed deeply, vibrating through the walls. Sentinel-9's holographic form brightened. This vessel still contains Serati weaponry and technology capable of defending your planet. Dr. Carter felt a spark of determination. We can fight back. Archon's silver eyes locked onto him. Not alone. But with this ship, yes. He paused, breathing heavily. But there is a price. Rhea stepped closer. What price? Archon slowly raised a hand toward the ship's glowing walls. This ship was made to bond with a living mind, a commander. Without one, its full power cannot be unlocked. Jonas frowned. Who can control it now? Archon looked at the three humans. His gaze was gentle, but heavy with meaning. A human. Rhea's eyes widened. A human can control an alien warship? Archon nodded slowly. Not just control it, merge with it. Guide it. Become its heart. A silence followed, thick and shaking. Dr. Carter whispered, that would change the person forever. Archon did not deny it. Yes. The ship would fuse with their neural system. They would gain our knowledge, but lose their old self. Jonas clenched his fists. That is not a choice. That is a sacrifice. Archon looked directly into his eyes. Great futures always demand great sacrifices. White medium star, the awakening of the ship. Suddenly, the chamber lights intensified. Blue energy ran through the walls like lightning. The ship's core activated, shaking the entire structure. Sentinel-9 announced. The Vorn have detected the activation. They are accelerating. Dr. Carter felt his chest tighten. There was no more time. The ship needed a human. Someone brave. Someone unpredictable. Someone ready to protect the world. Rhea stepped forward first. Her voice was steady. I will do it. Dr. Carter turned sharply. Rhea, no. But Archon's eyes focused on her. He studied her like a warrior selecting a successor. She is suitable, Archon said. Rhea nodded, tears shining in her eyes. If the Vorn are coming, someone has to stand between them and Earth. Jonas whispered, this will make history. Archon corrected him gently. This will save your species. White medium star, the final moment. The ship opened a pathway behind the pod. A column of soft blue light rose from the floor like a beam to the heavens. Rhea looked back at her team. A small brave smile. Tell my family. I did this for all of us. She stepped into the L.